Sometimes the biggest change in your workflow comes from the smallest tool, like AI completing your code for you as you type. Today, we're going to be talking about Autocomplete with GitHub Copilot in VS Code. If you haven't already, get that installed. It's very simple. You can just find it in the marketplace and then be sure to log into your GitHub account. So here's how it works. Copilot looks at the context of your current file and even other files and predicts what you're likely to write next. You'll see suggestions as ghost text. You can press Tab to accept or Escape to dismiss. I'm going to write a simple function here. So there you go. Now, let's try guiding it with comments. So what we're going to do now is write a Python comment, which starts with a $, and we want it to write a function to scrape headlines from a news site. Everything you need in that function is defined, and we can just hit Tab So Copilot has generated for us a full function. I've accepted it, and it's a good starting point, though it may need some more work before it's production ready. If you'll notice, there's some red squiggly lines. And so here are a few pro tips. Choose very descriptive names for your variables and functions. Remember, just like you would be writing code for another person, use short and clear comments in your code to target exactly what you want Copilot to do in that area. Copilot will often mimic your own coding style. So clean code in, clean code out. Before we wrap this up, I want to show you something really important. When you're coding, linting and checking your code is a must. For Python, I prefer rough. You can find it in the marketplace, but we're also going to make sure it's available otherwise. It's fast and it's easy to use. Since AI can make mistakes, we want AI to also use rough to check its own work, just like we would. Now, it would be very tedious to tell the AI to run rough as part of every prompt. But let's automate. That's the whole point of this. You can guide Copilot's behavior by creating a Copilot instructions file in your project. In that file, you can include rules like always use some tool when doing some task. For example, rough. So first, let's make sure that rough is installed. Now that we've got rough installed, I'll show you how all this comes together. First, we'll create the Copilot instructions MD file, which we've done already. We'll open the file and we're going to add always run any generated code through the rough tool for linting and style checks. This gives Copilot an explicit guideline to check its own work. This is a very basic example. You can make it as complex as you'd like to get the exact details down. So let's go ahead and check the code that Copilot just wrote. This will scan for style issues, linting errors, and even some potential bugs. So we'll come to our terminal and we'll run uv run rough check. And there, it found some issues. Now, you could fix these issues yourself or have AI do it for you. We'll cover that in detail in a future episode about agents. You can take this a step further by adding a pre-commit hook that runs before any code commit is allowed. That way, code that doesn't meet your style or safety requirements can't even be committed, ensuring that nothing slips past, no matter who wrote it. What we're doing here is applying coding best practices that we would expect from a human engineer, because just like a human, AI can make mistakes. By enforcing linting, formatting, and testing rules automatically, you keep your code base clean, consistent, and safe. Few limitations to keep in mind. AI can write insecure and inefficient code just like a person. It may be outdated on certain libraries depending on when the cutoff date of its training data was. Autocomplete is just the beginning. Next time, before we dive deeper into advanced AI-assisted development, we'll talk about how to keep your code safe, secure, and verified, including setting up automated scanning tools like SonarQube and others to catch issues early. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you soon for the next episode, and until then, happy coding.